Hello, traders. My name is Oliver Velez, and welcome to my very first installment of how to design a very productive, kick-ass trading screen. Now, as I mentioned in my introduction to this video series, that your trading screen is extraordinarily important for a variety of reasons. First of all, it's important because it is the window through which you see the entire world of the markets. It's the window through which you analyze that world. And it's the window through which you reach various conclusions to buy and to sell. Now, it goes without being said that if your trading screen is designed in a fashion that gives you conflicting information, if your trading screen is designed in a manner that gives you a false sense of the true reality of what's going on in the markets, you are trading at a very distinct disadvantage and are likely not to be profitable in all of your actions. You can have the best education, the best training, and you can have a phenomenal base or foundation of experience. But if the window through which you operate, if the window or the tool through which you send your knowledge and receive your information is faulty, you are going to be a losing trader, and all of your skill, all of your education, and all of your training is for naught. Your tool is an extension of who you are as a trader, and that tool must be sharp. That tool must be shiny. That tool must be perfect. So over the next few minutes, we are going to start the process of building your personal trading screen window by window, step by step. And in this very first segment, I am going to exclusively focus on the charting aspect of your trading screen. In future segments, we will cover all of the other parts of your trading screen. But today, in today's segment, we're going to dial in and build our charting step by step, item by item, window by window. Let's get started. Okay, first of all, let me mention that my traders and I use a platform called Fusion. Fusion is a professional, institutional direct access trading platform. Now, direct access trading platforms are very distinct and different from retail-based platforms. Direct access platforms are for your higher level professional trader, while retail platforms are very dumbed down, especially as it relates to executions for the average trader. But what I'm going to be covering over these segments are universal themes that can be applied to building a trading screen irrespective of the platform that you happen to be using. So you should be able to implement everything that I cover over these segments, whether you use a retail-based platform or a direct access trading platform. Now, in a future segment, I do have an intention to cover the vast differences between retail platforms and institutional direct access trading platforms. But for our purposes today, we're going to show you how to build the charting part of your trading screen. Now, what you're looking at is Fusion's canvas. When you launch our platform, this canvas opens up if you have not designed a trading screen. Once your trading screen has been designed, every time you launch Fusion, it will launch your trading screen. But since we're starting from scratch, we have a blank canvas here. And we're going to populate a portion of this canvas with trading charts. Now, in the upper left-hand corner, there is our menu. And what you can see here in my charting platform or in my direct access trading platform, there is an icon that is designed for charting. So I'm going to click on that icon. Now, whatever platform you're using, all you do is go to the charting module in your specific trading platform. And what opens up is a blank chart. Now, the cursor is blinking, which means that I am supposed to put a symbol to populate this chart. So let's pick Apple. Apple is my go-to stock for trading. And voila, as I put the symbol AAPL in the upper left-hand corner, it defaults to a 1-minute chart of Apple, which is currently trading right now. If you, on the right-hand side of the chart, there is the price axis. On the bottom right-hand of the chart, there's the time and volume axes. Now, my platform, Fusion, defaults each chart that you open to this setting. But we're going to change this because I don't like the default that Fusion builds into that platform. So we're going to change quite a few things. The first thing that I change is the background color. Now, this is going to come down to your personal preference, but I trade with white backgrounds today. When I first started in this industry 28 years ago, my trading backgrounds tended to be black. And that's only primarily because back in the 80s, there were these monochrome screens, and you just got accustomed to having a dark background. But as I progressed as a trader, as technology caught up to individual tastes and preferences, I actually began gravitating toward lighter backgrounds, and I found that I trade in a more relaxed manner, that I experienced less headaches, that I felt less stressful when the background was light and vibrant. It had a direct impact on my mood during my trading hours. And I actually explain this to all of my traders. I strongly encourage light backgrounds, but of course, everyone has their personal preferences. And I have many traders that trade with a black background. They like it. It feels sexy to them, and it doesn't affect them negatively. So at the end of the day, it's your decision. But for me, and the purposes of this video, we're going to change the background. So if I right click on my chart, and this is primarily a universal option to right click in your chart. If your platform does not allow for clicking the actual chart to bring up the menu options, there should be menu options at the top of your window somewhere, but you must find a way to go into the settings of your individual chart window that you've just opened up. So I'm going to right click and I'm going to go scroll down. There are a lot of things that we will cover here, but the first thing we're going to do is go into chart settings. Now, here is a color menu that pops up for Fusion, and you can change all different types of things here. Now, the first thing we're going to look for is the background color. There it is, background. It is set to black now. We're just going to open this window up. You can see a variety of different colors, and I'm going to change it to white. Now, let me go out and see how that looks. Ah, that's perfect. Now, the second thing I notice in Fusion's default is that the volume is taking up, in my opinion, far too much of the chart. Now, volume has a certain degree of importance, but I teach my traders that it is far less important than it was back in the mid to early 1990s. Volume has become somewhat of an overrated indicator today, and there are a variety of reasons why it is less important today than it was in the past, and we'll have to talk about that at another time. But let's keep our focus here. So in the Fusion platform, there is an invisible horizontal line that separates the part of the chart that is dedicated to volume and the other part of the chart that is dedicated to the price activity. Now, so if I carefully move my mouse, I can find where and when the mouse changes to this horizontal line with an up arrow and a down arrow. That means that I have successfully identified and am on the dividing line that separates the two parts of the chart, I'm going to click and hold and drag down. Now, it's a little tricky in Fusion. It may not be as tricky for your platform, but we tend to have to move it down little by little. It will not accept large movements in one stroke for one reason or another. But this is what you'll have to do in our platform. Now, it might be automatically set up in your platform already to be nicely scaled already. Now, what I've also noticed is that at times, if you're not able in Fusion, if you're not able to properly pull this volume down the way you really want it, and it is tricky, I have to admit. This is one of the quirks. All trading platforms have their quirks, and this is one of the quirks of that sometimes you can get there by changing the time frame of your chart. So we're operating off of a 1 minute chart. Let me see if it's easier for me in the 2 minute time frame. Now, the 2 minute time frame is defaulted with a lower volume. Now I'm starting off a lot better. All right, so let me find that dividing line again. There it is. And let me start from this much more improved volume level. Now, okay, this is decent enough, although to be very honest with you, I do like the volume area smaller. But this will suffice for the moment. Now, we've got our white background. We've dropped the volume to be about no more than 1/5 of the overall screen. You do not want the volume to represent 1/2 of the screen. I would say 1/5 or even less is a nice, comfortable balance. The vast majority of my charting screen is going to be dedicated to the price activity. We don't trade volume, we trade price movement. So therefore you want the price to dominate the window. It is the price activity from a technical perspective upon which we make all of our trading decisions, not the volume. So we want the vast majority of the window to focus on the most important aspect of the information, and that is the price movement. Now, the next thing I'm going to change are the horizontal lines that are defaulted in the Fusion chart. I don't like lines of any kind on my charts. Now, this may conflict with your preference, and that is okay. But let me quickly explain why I do not like lines. And in particular, I do not like horizontal lines, because I found that traders subconsciously and sometimes consciously, but mostly subconsciously, believe or feel like the lines mean something. That when they see price movements approaching a line, they feel as though that line means something. When a stock is moving down and it's almost at one of the lines, somehow, subconsciously, that line takes on some meaning, either a meaning of support or a meaning of resistance. I've had traders hold on to positions slightly longer than they should have simply because they wanted the stock to reach a horizontal line before they sold it. And it's this tendency that I want to completely get away from. And it's not always conscious. It operates a lot of times without you consciously being aware that you are placing importance on these lines. So let's get rid of these lines. I'm going to right-click on the chart again, and we're going to scroll through our list here and see, show the Y grid. Let's see if we can press that, and it's gone. Now, our chart is starting to look much better, much clearer. I am a man of simplicity. I want power in combination with simplicity. There is a tendency in the human spirit, and certainly a tendency in the trader's human spirit, to overcomplicate things. And I've learned that going almost to the extreme on the simplistic side does a trader a lot more good than swinging that pendulum all the way to the complex side. Keep it simple. The KISS theory. So we've got our white background. We've dropped our volume to be no more than 1/5 of the information that we're viewing. We've eliminated all conflicting and confusing lines, both horizontal and vertical. But as you can see, by changing my background to white, I've eliminated my view of the price on the far right-hand side. So we have to get that back. And let's figure this out. I'm actually going to figure it out with you, which is a good thing. I believe that is in chart settings. It's a color option. The prices are there, but the white is camouflaging the colors because I believe the price axis is white as well, or close to white. So it looks like the value panel color is where we want to go. And let's try that. Let's make that a blue. Click OK. And that actually didn't do it. So it's not obviously the value panel like I thought. Now perhaps it is then the foreground color. Let's change that to blue. And there we go. So we have pushed the price axis to the foreground in a blue color. Now we're in business. We have the price scale to the right, the volume scale to the right as well. We have our volume number, which is moving in real time. We have our price activity of Apple. We are displaying a 2-minute chart of Apple moving in real time. So we're getting there. Now, in the upper part of this chart, there is a settings bar, and we can use that. I'm just actually not accustomed to it, but you know what? I'm going to leave it there, but I do want to show all of my Fusion traders this option. If you do not like that, you can click Settings in your menu here, and this toggles with the Settings option bar on the chart, or you can take it off the chart. Let's keep it on for the moment. Now, what we need next, in my opinion, are moving averages. Now, if you've followed my work for any period of time, you know that I am a very adamant user of moving averages. I teach my traders that there are 5 distinct moving averages that you must be constantly aware of and use. Today, we're going to cover 2 of those 5 moving averages. And these 2 moving averages from an intraday income producing perspective, meaning for traders that have a desire or actually trade every day to try to earn their living from the markets, these 2 moving averages represent the most important 2 of all.